Emery, good
Hey,
morning.
good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you happen to be living. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. I mean, like it's always fun whenever we do this, and it's just like the things that that pop up. 'Cause it's just like, yeah, like it's. I love Restream because it's super simple. You click on a button, it plays the video clip the same way that we've done it for the last what 5 sessions, 6 sessions that we've
Yep.
recorded and done live.
Hmm.
And this morning, it's just like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. So I'm sitting here, and like it's so simplistic that like there's no troubleshooting at all for it. It's
Hmm.
just like click the button, video plays, fantastic. And like if it doesn't do that, I have no idea what to do with that.
Well, you know what I mean. Yeah, I think we take all of this tech for granted most of the time until it doesn't work, right? And
Absolutely.
that's just the way it kind of goes. I mean, there's just so much of it surrounding us, and we're completely reliant on it. I mean, if my phone bugs out a little bit, I'm just like a disaster. I don't know what to do with myself. So yeah, it's pretty much like that with most of the apps I'm using.
Yeah.
Hey guys, nice to see the EIRs joining us on Facebook during the live stream. So this is very cool. How's it going, Andrea? How's it going, Extension? Hi, Mohammed. I think it's Hamza that's on the call. Hi, Hamza. Yeah, very excited about today. This is a big milestone week for us. We've got some projects that are getting presented today. So we have had about at least a few weeks now of people doing some research, getting organized, putting together some plans of action. And now we're going to jump into seeing where everybody's at with things, giving them some, hopefully constructive feedback. Time permitted, we're going to do a bit of a workshop at the end. We have been doing a lot of stuff talking about traction and getting, into the market, getting some uh, exposure for your project. And so we're going to talk about the best approach to that. I'll do a short presentation at the end, or like a workshop with a volunteer from the EIRs. Do we have any coaches that are going to join us on this sort of? We'll call it like the Darkhorse Den. I don't know what we want to call it, but do we have anybody anybody that wants their Dark Horse uh, arena or yeah,
Yeah, there has to be like an equestrian pun somewhere in here that
yeah,
actually just kind of like it sounds good. It'll rhyme off a little bit. It's punchy. Has got to
yeah,
be something.
yeah? It's I'm having a hard time with that. With stable, I guess is the appropriate thing to probably say. So the
Yeah.
Dark Horse stable.
Well, that's it. And like, if you like show jumping or like something in that side, just sounds
Hmm.
so condescending
Yeah,
that it loses all the appeal out of it.
exactly. Hey, how's it going, Carla? Nice to see you. Hey, Hamza. So yeah, we've got some few folks joining us on the live stream, which is always nice. Okay, so yeah, do we have any of the coaches that are going to join us, or is it just going to be you and I that are going to be putting the ERs through the motions today?
For the time being, it looks like just the two of us. I'm sure that Susahosh and Zav tend to join us midway through.
Yeah, perfect.
So,
Well,
I
whenever they
think
show
they're
up.
stuck with us for the time being, Emery.
Okay, well, we're going to have to pretend that we're. I'm gonna put on my Zav hat every so often. You put on your Susahash hat,
No,
and then
absolutely
it's fine.
not. No, 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 no. Like, I can take Zav's hat a little bit, but Susahosh? No, absolutely not.
No, and then we've got to both like combine to be Carla somehow.
Oh,
Somehow we're gonna have to combine to do
I'm
that
glad we've
because
had such a low bar for today, too, where it's just like all of these fantastic people. It's like, yeah, we'll just be us and we'll add everyone else. That'll be fine.
awesome. Okay, well, let's invite some of the ERs to present. So I think we have the order was set last week. Now Shamsia unfortunately isn't going to be able to present today because she's not available. So
Okay.
she's gonna move to Friday. She just let us know. We have in order who's here. We're looking at. Let's see here really quickly. Who is first? So we are looking at Rachel is number one, is first on our list.
Well, and that's always great news because as soon as you're going through the list, it's like, well, Rachel's the only one backstage, so like regardless of who you say, it's gonna be Rachel up here first.
Okay, I'm going to tell you who's coming up next. So ERs that are sort of in the background waiting. Next after that, it's going to be somebody from Team Bribe, and then it's going to be Chandrika, and then it's going to be Himani, and or Ashna. So that's
Cool.
that's the for Modern Saint. So that's the order for today. If anybody from Friday wants to get it out of the way, they can also present today. So potentially extension or somebody else from that team. But that's completely optional. Otherwise, we have something else planned for the end.
Excellent. And as always, if you are backstage when your camera is on, I assume that you were actually there, because if it's not, there's no way I can know that. But I do know that Carla and Susahaj have both hopped in backstage, so let's probably drag them in first, and we'll get going.
Beautiful. Hey, nice to see you both.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good, and you guys?
Hey,
Very
good. How are you?
Very good.
I'm always just happy that Carla's hairstyle changes enough, just like mine. And it's just great that the amount of effort that she puts in, just, she almost catches up with me. It's awesome.
Carla is my favorite superhero. She's just like awesome. I'm always sending her emojis, like superhero emojis. I'm like, you know what? Like, yeah, unstoppable. Yeah, it's like definitely been really fun working with you. Okay, we have some fun today, guys. We've got some presentations happening today, and so we've got some of our EIRs that are putting
Exciting.
their A game on, and they're going to tell us what they're up to, what they've been able to accomplish over the last month or so in the program, and we're going to give them some feedback. I'm gonna challenge us to a theme today. So it is the any sports fans here. It's the Game 6 of the NBA Finals tonight. So you got Phoenix and Milwaukee fighting it tooth and nail. Milwaukee's up a game. It could end tonight in Milwaukee. So the theme is sports, and the theme is championship. So when we're thinking about these companies as they come in and they do their thing, let's think about like how they're positioning themselves for a championship. Okay, so we can think about like what clues are we getting from their presentations that this is going to be a successful long-term project, and what things can we share with them that's going to give them advice on how to, act like a true professional and a superstar as they're sort of building their project and their career. Okay, so that's just sort of like a bit of a theme for today. It's the finals theme, and we'll see what we can help them out with.
Awesome.
Cool.
Interesting.
Interesting
analogy.
Interesting.
Interesting analogy.
Yeah, well, we can put a little bubble cloud above your head where it says what you're really thinking, Sasash.
Yeah, I've always loved the
what
Milwaukee
I'm really
Hobbits.
thinking is
They're a
that
great team.
I keep seeing this like weird shadow, and I think it's a light. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, what is that light that's going on?
So wait, so you've spent the last 5 minutes just looking at yourself?
No, I've been listening about the arena and the thing we have to do.
It's like Homer Simpson, like in real life. It's just like like I'm hungry. Food.
I'm just waiting for Susaj to disappear through a bush, and it'll all make sense.
I am hungry, Emery. Just FYI.
What is this light? I see a light on my screen. Hey, Stanley, nice to see you. We've got Stanley joining us too on the call. Looking forward to you presenting today, Stan. Awesome, guys. Okay, well, let's jump into it. So we have maximum time to run everybody through their paces.
Yep. So as it is right now, I only have Rachel and Stanley backstage. Stanley, you don't need your camera on yet, but as soon as we're done with everything else, besides that, anyone else that's supposed to be on today, if you could hop back here, that would be super. But for now, let's bring Rachel up.
Awesome.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, nice to see you, Rachel.
Hey.
Nice to see you too.
Hey, Rachel.
Awesome. So, Rachel, we're going to we're going to enlarge you larger than life. If you want to present anything, then you can do that. And we'll jump into it. I hope you've been having an awesome start to the week.
I have, yeah, you as well. Okay, I'm going to share. You can see this, right? Because I've never shared my screen from this platform before, so I'm just like making sure.
No, not currently.
No?
Nothing.
Okay.
No.
Let me see.
You may have to give permission.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Let's do. How about now?
Yes, excellent.
Perfect.
Okay, so we're all going to disappear momentarily, and the stage will be yours.
Awesome. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So before I get started and tell you why I think local provisions will be a useful tool for you, I just want to tell you a story. And this is how I came up with this idea in the first place. So it's basically a story about a failed gift-giving attempt that happened to me a few years ago. So I had to buy a birthday gift for my sister. I left it until the last minute, which was totally my bad. And on the day of her birthday party, I wanted to get her something. But I didn't just want to get her like an LCBO gift card or something else that screams, you totally forgot about this and are buying it at the very last minute. So her and I had discussed Girlfriend Collective, which is this brand of workout clothing in this photo here. She really loved the brand. It's a sustainable brand. They actually make these leggings out of recycled plastic water bottles. I'm like, it's perfect. It's like an eco-conscious gift. She really wants it. It's a total win-win. I really want to buy this particular item for her. Obviously, I left it until the day of, so I couldn't actually buy it from Girlfriend Collective's e-commerce store. So I just got on Google. I started searching, like, where can I get these leggings in person today? So I came across Holt Renfrew, which is a large department store in Toronto. They said they had the leggings in store and that I could purchase them online and pick them up in store that afternoon. So I was like, perfect, problem solved. So not so fast. I go to Holt Renfrew, I go to pick up the leggings, and they're like, oh no, we don't actually sell the leggings in store. Like there's something wrong with the website. We don't actually have these in stock. Like we can't get these for you today. So rather than the sales clerk kind of helping me with my situation or suggesting alternative gifts, I actually just got an automated response email saying that they were refunding me. So I still wanted the leggings. Like at this point, so like not only am I not getting the leggings on the day that I need them, I'm not getting them at all. They just refunded me my money. So I'm actually back at square one at this point. So unfortunately, I went to her party empty-handed. I kind of made a joke about it, how she was going to get these leggings later. But obviously, like it made me feel terrible and, you know, like a bad sister. So this brought me to a pain point. And that's like getting unique and thoughtful gifts in a convenient and timely way is a challenge. So I feel like I'm not the only one here. Like how many of you have scrambled to buy your loved one a gift at the last minute? It's never intentional, but you know, you get busy, things happen, and then you realize, oh my gosh, I need this gift like right now. So to look into this further, I looked into some keyword searches around gift ideas. And I'm not surprised at all that like pretty much everyone you can think of came up on this list. So gifts for women, men, mom, dad, boyfriend, girlfriend. These are just like some of the top searches. There were so many more other ones too. And other top searches that I found related to like gifts just in general, people are always searching, you know, gifts that are meaningful, gifts that I can send besides flowers, you know, top gifts of the year. What are unique gifts? Like what are gifts I can buy online and ship? So despite gifting occasions occurring every year, it's still a struggle of what to buy every year. And when I looked into some holiday shopping stats, it's no wonder people feel this way. So these shopping stats that I got from a Consumer Reports study are just related to Christmas specifically. And I dug deep into that. And Christmas actually only accounts for half of people's annual gift-giving budget. So this is just 50%. There's another 50% of times where you're also buying other like birthday gifts, anniversary gifts, etc. So at Christmas specifically, consumers will spend 15 hours on average gift shopping. So women spend 20 hours versus men who spend 10. Shoppers expect to wait in-store checkout lines for an average of 3.5 hours, some even 4 or more hours. And then once they get home, shoppers plan to spend at least 3 hours, if not more, wrapping the gifts. So if you just want to look at like the average woman, for example, they're spending 3 full working days shopping just at Christmas, like 3 full working days. Like there's got to be a better way than this. So that's what drove me to Local Provision's mission, which is how can I make gift giving convenient, and how can we curate unique and thoughtful gifts, right? So rather than, how can we cut through the noise, right? Rather than looking at 1,000 different options, like how can we just narrow down the best options that are, specific to the loved ones that you're shopping for? So I came up with this idea to create a Chrome extension that curates gift options specific to the recipient's interests and then sends a push notification to the buyer weeks in advance. So they have ample time to purchase this gift, ensuring that it arrives for the occasion. So I'm just going to walk you through it. And so if you're not familiar with Chrome extensions, you'll see it on the top left or top right corner of your desktop browser. As you can see my cursor moving here. And there's a little icon here which shows you where the Chrome extension is. I just blew it up so you could see what it is. It's just our logo. So when you click on that, it pops up a login screen where you're going to put your name and email to sign up, or if you already have an account, you can log in. So how do you actually set up this platform? Like, how is this platform going to know, information about the people you're shopping for? How is it going to curate these options? So I'm going to show you how to set up an example, like test person in the platform. Okay, so once again, you come to your login screen, you put in your name and email, and it's going to open up to a set of questions so it can collect that data so it can make sure that it curates the perfect gift for you. So we're just going to pretend like you have a friend named Jane. So you're going to put in Jane's name. We'll say her name is Jane Doe. You'll hit next. So what occasions do you want to you want reminders for Jane? So she's your friend. Let's say you want to remember her birthday, and you can select all that apply here, but we'll just use birthday as an example. So from there, you're going to have to put in Jane's birthday so that we know to send you that notification 2 to 3 weeks in advance. So let's say her birthday is August 2nd. And then from there, you're going to choose interests. What does Jane like? Let's say Jane is a foodie, she likes self-care, and she really likes coffee. So you'll select all that apply. After that, you're going to answer what city Jane's in. So we really like to curate gifts that are local. So we're going to try to find things from the town that this person lives in. So I'm going to use Windsor as an example, which is where Local Provision started, and it's where I was born and raised. So the next question is, do you need this gift delivered? So you have the option to either deliver it directly to Jane on her doorstep the day of her birthday, or if you prefer to give it to her yourself, you can select no. And then from here, we'll just need the street address. So you'll put in her, let's say she lives at 123 Main Street in Windsor, Ontario, and then you'll click submit, and now the platform has all the information that it needs. So once it has this information, you don't need to upload it every single time. It's just going to know for future to send those notifications. So what are these notifications going to look like? So once again, you'll get a desktop notification. This is just blown up it's not going to be that big for the sake of being able to see it in this presentation. But you'll see Jane's birthday is in 2 weeks, and it's going to give you a little call to action, send her a gift. So you'll click on that. It'll pop up to your login screen. You'll log in, and then you'll get this gift reminder. So once again, Jane's birthday is in 2 weeks. Send her a gift. Here are the 3 curated options based on that information that you put in when you set her up originally. So you'll remember she liked self-care, she liked food, and she liked coffee. And this is for her birthday. So we have a very birthday-specific self-care box. We have a more generic self-care box. And then down here, we actually have like a foodie coffee combination box. So from here, let's say, well, it's her birthday. I love this birthday theme. I want to buy this birthday box from Shop Eco, which is a store based in Windsor, Ontario. You'll click on that, and it'll give you the full details of what you're buying. So there's a candle, a soap, and a lip balm that has like a vanilla birthday cake scent. It's perfect. I love this. Let's buy this for Jane. You'll pop up to this screen. Once again, the name and address will auto-populate because it collected that data from the beginning to make it super simple and easy. However, if for whatever reason, like I know things change, people move, if you need to edit anything, there's this edit button here. And then of course, there's always the option to add a personalized message. We want this to be personalized. So you can say whatever you want in the message and the store will take care of that for you. And then from there, you'll just say buy now. And you'll remember Jane's birthday was August 2nd. So you get your purchase notification and the box is guaranteed to be delivered by her birthday. So what can you expect as a customer? So you can expect personal assistance. This platform is going to curate the perfect gift for you. It's like having a personal shopper to cut out all that noise and just present you with the best options for your friend or loved one. And once again, you still have personal choice here. It's going to give you several options to choose from. It's just going to limit your options so it's less overwhelming and less time consuming. And then lastly, you'll get that automated service. So these curated options, as you can see, are delivered directly to you through a desktop notification. It's not something that you need to remember too far in advance. I know people used to use like Facebook, for example, to remember people's birthdays and things like that, but people don't really do that anymore. So it's like, how else are you going to be reminded of these, with enough ample time to purchase a thoughtful gift? So I have a couple asks from you as a potential customer. Is this something that you'd be interested in beta testing? Obviously, we're very interested in user feedback. We're still working on the ideas for this platform. So any feedback is like greatly appreciated, and like knowing what features that we need or don't need, for example. Another thing we're always looking for is small local businesses that sell gifts. The curation is super important here. Like we don't just want anyone and anything. It really needs to have like a high quality. We like gifts with like a solid mission, gifts that really align with our brand. So we're always open to meeting new small businesses that fit that criteria. And then lastly, if you know anyone that'd be interested in this service, like, as I say, we're always looking for beta testers and more user feedback. So that would be greatly appreciated too. And then just to leave you off, here's our contact information. We have our email address there, our website, and then our social media handles. We have Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest, which you can find at localprovisions.ca is the handle. So thank you so much. And I look forward to hearing any of your questions that you might have.
Bum, 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 bum. There we go.
Well done.
Very good.
Anne-Marie, it looks like you're muted.
Yep.
Yes, it does. I muted myself to be careful that I wasn't sure if I was going to kind of, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, thank you. Yeah, well done, Rachel. That was excellent. Great presentation. Yeah. I like the direction you're taking things with the tech. Very cool.
Thank you.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. And it was great to see sort of how you're envisioning, that working. And I love the asks. So that was, I'll compliment you at first, and then we'll get into questions. But I love the asks. Those are both excellent ones. So why don't we start with a little bit of a round table, guys? So what do you guys think? What does any of the coaches have any questions for Rachel, or any championship advice?
Oh, advice? Absolutely not. But in terms of questions, what do you think that your biggest barrier is in terms of sort of moving this forward?
My biggest barrier is the tech part. As I say, I don't have a tech background whatsoever. So for me, it's like even just like grappling with like, how would I even do this? Like, what is possible in an MVP? Like, how much beta testers do I need? How much user feedback do I need to kind of make like well-educated decisions about how to take it forward? That's definitely my barrier. In terms of like the business originally, when I was just building the gift boxes, like for some reason that felt very natural to me. I just like knew how to do that. Whereas without the tech knowledge, I do feel like myself getting a bit stuck.
Okay. Interesting. So what's one thing that you have wanted to build a gift box for? What's the one thing? How do you want this to look by the time that you have the tech, you have it all done? What's the one like really cool thing you want to do with your platform?
Basically the cool thing I want to do, and I try to use like Airbnb as an example. Like I don't really want to be a gift box business anymore. Like my goal with this from the very beginning was just to encourage people to shop local and consider local businesses before going to Amazon. So once I got into the gift box business, it was great. Like there's so many gift box businesses. I was actually talking to a vendor yesterday and he's like, oh yeah, there's been an explosion of gift box businesses. So the thing is, like, I don't want to compete with other small businesses making gift boxes. That wasn't my intention. My intention was just to encourage people to shop local. So I'm like, how can I build something where everyone's winning, right? Like people are getting connected with small vendors. It's super easy to find. People aren't stuck looking at thousands of different Shopify stores and small vendors because there's so many of them out there. There's so many great ones. They're just very hard to find. So I'm like, how can I essentially be the platform that just connects the gifts with the people looking for the gifts? I use Airbnb as an example. There's probably a better one, but basically it's just kind of like, this is kind of like a marketplace idea more than like a gift box business.
Awesome. Yeah, and I wouldn't worry necessarily about the definition or the metaphors associated with it because, I mean, mine aren't super great either. Yeah, no, overall, a great presentation. The execution always seems like one of those things. How's the traction been so far for you?
So I haven't really pushed this part yet. I really want to like set it up well. But I have a list of customers from when I started this last year. So that's who I'll start with. And they are all Windsor based. I would obviously like to expand this to a bigger market, but that is definitely where I'm going to start. So what I've been working on now is just contacting vendors and getting their feedback and kind of testing this like new business model before going forward and trying to build the tech out essentially.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rachel.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm going to say to anybody in the on Facebook on the live stream, if you have any questions for Rachel, please put them into the chat. And you've gotten some great compliments, Rachel, so far from the chat.
Thank you.
You've got Geraldine and Lindani are clapping. Tracy Tracy Lee says, very cool concept, well done. Great presentation. Awesome from Chandrika. Andrea's, I really like your project. So,
awesome.
So I think you're definitely getting a lot of good feedback. Awesome. What about you, Carla? Susahaj, what do you think?
Yeah, so Rachel, in terms of the survey, how are you thinking about going and finding, like, I know you put up the asks, other than obviously email, have you created some questionnaires or something to gather that feedback?
Yeah, so one idea I had, and it was when we were doing the Traction Challenge, I was looking at the engineering as marketing option. And once again, it's kind of funny because I'm not a tech person at all. So it's like, why would you pick that one? But I was just like brainstorming ideas. And I think a really cool, like fun way to collect this data would be to make it more like a quiz. So essentially like a gift generator quiz. And I know like the holidays are coming up, so that could be a good timing to get this out there. Because I was like, even like looking at this survey and I'm like, oh, it's like a lot of questions, like it's kind of boring, just like answering questions without any kind of fun thing at the end. So I'm like, if there could be like a fun thing at the end, like, okay, you filled in all this data, here's 3 gifts or 3 businesses you should check out or something like that to make it more, I don't know if like gamification is the right word, but I'm trying to think of something a bit more creative to get the data than just a straight up form. Because right now I literally just have a type form and my idea would be just to email it out to my customers, but I do think there's a more fun way.
You could simply maybe give 1 box or 2 gifts. So anyone who enters, they enter like a lottery to win, and maybe one of them or 2 of them get something. So that could be one way. So no, it's exciting, especially to see the evolution and the path you're taking. And I don't want to say much because you and I talk a lot offline, and for me, it's like you said, Airbnb, Uber. Like I look at it as an Uber model. So that's the future. I love it. So excellent.
One of the ideas, Rachel, that you could consider is like sort of riffing off of what Susahash was saying, or what you suggested as well, is how like when you can go onto some e-commerce stores and like a pop-up happens and you can sort of spin the wheel to get to get a reward. So maybe have something like that where it's almost like you're asking the questions, but they know that there's a prize at the end. So whether it's a sweepstakes like Susahash recommended, or even like everybody wins, so everybody gets to spin the wheel at the end of filling up the survey, and they get a chance to win immediate prize or a discount on their next gift purchase, or freebies or something.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I've actually heard those wheels convert like 3 times better than just like a regular pop-up too. So yeah, wheels are
Yeah,
a good idea.
gamification. You said it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, anything that's
Yeah.
going to get people to like play with something that is more than
Yeah.
just sort of filling out a form. Yeah. So,
And I think that's
but-
always one of those great things that kind of comes out of these conversations where it's just like, well, the Wheel of Fortune wheel actually generates, 3 times more conversions for everything. It's just like, why? No, that doesn't make any sense. But knowing that, it makes a huge difference in how you actually apply sort of the market research and the methodologies that you have, right?
Mhm.
I think we have some questions.
We have some questions. Yeah. Do you want to, Carla? Why don't you pick the questions from the audience?
Okay, I'll do that. How do I scroll down?
Yeah, I can't scroll down either. It's so annoying.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
I can only see 3 questions, but I'll ask the
Yeah.
ones that I can see so long
Mhm.
because I can't scroll down. So Nico is asking, what is your selection process for vendors who contribute their products for your gift box? Do you have specific criteria for the kind of suppliers you deal with?
Yes. So for this platform specifically, and I didn't mention it too much in the presentation, which I probably should have touched on more, so that was my bad. But definitely the focus is like small local businesses. So the idea is to really encourage people to shop locally in their town, like help stimulate the economy, especially after COVID. So it would definitely be small businesses. And then obviously too, having like a variety of products too. Like when I was doing the gift boxes at Christmas, the food one was very popular. The self-care one was very popular. So I'd probably focus on those 2 first, just because that's what gets the most demand. But obviously having products for everyone. Like I never had a box for like kids, for example, but I think that's also something to touch on as well. So just having a little bit for everyone that fits in that local, like shop local mission that we have.
Okay. Just another question from me while I try and figure out how to scroll down. I really love the idea of the Chrome extension. How would that work on mobile? Because I think the extension with the pop-ups on desktop would be really convenient, and I could see myself using something like that. But I'm just thinking about mobile and the amount of people that rather work on mobile as opposed to desktop.
Yeah, so that's definitely something I've thought about. And to be honest, I have no idea if you can have a Chrome extension on a mobile app. I don't know.
You can. If you have Chrome on your thing, you can.
Okay. Because yeah, my thought process was like, I know there's a lot of apps out there, but the thing I like about the Chrome extension is they're pretty sticky. Like once it's there, you don't really delete it. Like I have so many that I don't even look at, but like if I get a pop-up, I'm like, oh, I'm going to click on that because I can see the little red. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Whereas a mobile app, you have to really like almost like get people in the habit of checking it constantly. And I find that people tend to forget about them. At least that's like my experience. So that's why I went with the Chrome extension. But yes, I do think that like people shopping from their mobile devices is huge, and that's definitely going to be where the future is going. So it's something I need to think about 100%.
And I can share a little bit about this. So, I think Rachel and I talked about this before as well. And what happens from a tech point of view, a Chrome extension is much easier and faster to develop versus a mobile app, which is a lot more resource intensive. And if you build a Chrome extension and a very simple backend to start, over time, you can build a mobile app as well. So that's absolutely possible because you lay kind of the foundation and then you build on top. So from a agile point of view, Chrome extension is absolutely the right choice, and then to evolve into mobile in the future. Yeah.
Very interesting. Thank you. Then another question here from Stacy. Do you plan to monetize with subscriptions for vendors? I'm not sure if I missed anything, but would these boxes come up based on my location? And would I be able to see boxes that's not location based if I had time to wait for it to be shipped?
Yeah, so the monetization sort of plan, at least right now, is just to take a small percentage of each sale. So once again, similar to that Airbnb model, like they're just taking a set percentage of the total selling price. I think subscriptions is something I could potentially do. Like if you wanted like, say like I have a husband, for example, and I wanted to get him like, thinking of you gifts quarterly or something like that. I think there is a subscription option there. Whereas, you might pay up front, but you'll get a better deal on the boxes that you would send quarterly. In terms of, what was the other one? It was based on location. Yeah, so I guess my shop local, like obviously it's ideal if you could get a box from somewhere in your city. Although there are a lot of great box companies that are in bigger markets that do ship all over the country. So I would definitely focus on Canada first. And I have been starting to reach out to vendors outside of the Windsor area because I think it's important to get into those markets as well. So yeah, as long as they're a local company and they use local products and they can ship Canada-wide, I'd be open to having them as a vendor. I hope that answered your question.
Have you, Rachel, just on that question, just to riff off of something that I guess Stacy was asking, have you considered this idea of like give one, get one? So almost like gifting yourself and gifting somebody else. So put them on a subscription service where every month they get to pick somebody else to give a thank you gift to, or because one of the things that's going to be really powerful for you is if you can figure out a way to make it so that it is a subscription model of some type. It's going to give you so much more leverage with vendors. It's also going to give you more predictable revenue. It's going to make the company's valuation higher. Like there's 1,000 reasons why you want to do that. But the bottom line is, I think the biggest challenge that I've had, even when I first heard your idea, is gifts are so infrequent. People only have so many birthdays, and there's only so many holidays. So, but if you can get people on somehow a model where they can, feel good about, enjoying because again, your whole goal is to have people more shop local. So I think if you have really useful stuff in the gift box, why wouldn't I want to just get some for myself as well? And then, it also helps me pick something for somebody else. So like, maybe every second month it goes to a friend or a family member. Every second month it goes to your household. Right. So coming up with some way to like almost market this idea of like gifting can be beyond special occasions. And you have permission to gift yourself, like coming up with a way to give people permission. Cause I don't think people give themselves permission to take care of themselves and love themselves. And so that's, that could be like a really cool potential. I mean, it's a potential avenue that you could take that actually leverages your business model more effectively, potentially as well.
Yeah, I love that idea of like buying one, giving one. And in my research that I've been doing, I've come across a lot of really great like self-care boxes. And I know that's something that people are focusing more on. Is like, taking care of themselves, taking care of mental health, like just taking a pause. There's lots of great products in there for, like taking a nice bath or like a candle, like essential oil, something to like stay calm. So yeah, I definitely think there's opportunity there for sure. And I really like that idea a lot. Cool.
Well, I'm open to taking shares for that idea. I'm just kidding. Okay, but we actually will talk about traction with you at the end if we have time, because I'd like to. We were supposed to do a traction exercise about some different ways to get attention on your project. So if we have time at the end, we're going to invite you back on. So stick around, because we'll go through your traction bullseye and see if we can figure some stuff out together.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Rachel.
Well done.
Awesome job.
Thanks, Rachel. Good job.
You missed her. She's gone.
Yeah, she's gone, Susash. All it takes is a tiny delay, and that's it.
Technology.
I thought it was that bubble in your head again. You were thinking about food again, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't even realize she left."
Well, if it's not the delay,
I'm so hungry. I can't wait.
I was gonna say, if it's not the delay, it feels like Susahash is actually rendering his responses for it, which is way more concerning.
I could say more, but I'm not going to. Just go off on a tangent.
All right, so it looks like we have Stanley backstage, all ready to go. Looks like he's got his presentation up as well. Any other EIRs that are supposed to be presenting and going through stuff today, please feel free to hop backstage once again, because I cannot force you to get here.
It'd be cool if we had we could put some tags on the EIRs, right? So wherever they are in the world, you can just sort of, bring them into this, bring them into the live stream regardless.
Are you suggesting we microchip the entrepreneurs?
I'm saying it's inevitable that this is where the program has to go, right? In order to guarantee the commitment to the audience.
I feel like at some point, and like I'm just going on a limb here, but I feel like the methodology has kind of strayed away somehow into this conspiracy bullshit. Just like, yeah, you know what? Let's call ourselves Area 51 for no reason other than it's close. Let's just start talking about chemtrails as well. Let's add a bunch of stuff into this. It'll be fine.
Oh man! Speaking of chemtrails,
no,
I watched Chernobyl recently. Man, that is an incredibly intense.
Oh yeah.
Series.
Wow, it was absolutely brilliantly done.
It was incredible. I think it's probably some of the best television I've ever seen. Yeah,
absolutely.
It was very emotionally disturbing too on so many levels. Wow. Anyway, on that high note, everybody go watch Chernobyl. I think it should be like a public service announcement.
So later this week, I think I'm going to run a Segway workshop because it feels like we're just not quite where we should be on that side.
Well, I never got a memo.
I was emotionally devastated by the tragedy at Chernobyl. Great, Stanley, let's go talk about your project.
It has to do with solar, right? It has to do with solar.
Hey, there you go. This was meant to be. It was a beautiful segue into why we don't use nuclear, and we're going after. We couldn't have scripted that. That was completely accidental. We forgot that the next project is clean energy, non-nuclear. There you go. Not that. I guess. Yeah.
Nuclear is clean energy, but
I know. I was going to say not that nuclear isn't technically clean energy, but we'll pretend it is. We'll pretend it's not clean energy. Chernobyl wasn't technically very clean by the time it was done.
So solar has no explosions. Let's put it that way.
No history of contaminating major communities. Yeah. So.
Yep.
That's the good news. That's the good news. Now let's bring Stanley on so he can tell us the bad news.
Hey, Stanley.
Hi, everybody.
Stanley.
Hey,
how's everybody doing?
Well, I'm sitting here enjoying the most unique intro I think any of our EIRs have had so far. So I'm having a great time.
We introed you with Chernobyl, Stanley. So like you're representing the other side of the argument. It's like we could either do this or we could do that, and you're gonna come in and tell us why we're gonna move away from nuclear power.
Gladly, actually, like on Sutahash's note, like solar is not 100% like non-lethal because sometimes like the battery packs. Like in people's houses explode and those cause like fires and stuff. So, that's a good segue.
So basically, why don't we just eliminate energy? We just it's too dangerous. Energy is dangerous.
Go back to candles.
It's the moral of the story.
Horses.
Well, no, candles are also dangerous. Like just eliminate energy. Period. We just forget it. Like we don't need it. We don't want it. It's scary. It's dangerous.
It's a bit extreme.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
okay, fine.
We're just going for it. Be like, Stanley, that thing that you're doing with your life.
Who needs Restream? And
you know what? Let's just convince everyone to just not use electricity instead. Like that's probably a better option.
That's actually probably the best option for me because like I wouldn't have to present
any internet.
Just before we learn that Stanley has a thriving farming business that doesn't need electricity, be like, this has been the plan all along. All right, awesome. So we'll have Stanley. I'll bring your presentation up. We'll drag the coaches out, and the floor is yours, sir.
Awesome. Thank you.
See you soon.
Awesome. The floor is mine. This is first off, welcome everybody. I hope everybody's doing well and everything is good. This is the second version of the Bribe.io presentation, and I hope you all enjoy it. So the main goal of Bribe.io is to provide power distribution services for residences and communities. We hope to use historical examples to tackle the energy challenges we have today and in the future. So a few facts. Load shedding is a form of power conservation used as a total blackout deterrent. It affects everybody from residential homes to industrial complexes. In 2015, South African businesses lost over 13 billion rand in revenue and spent an additional 716 million rand on backup generators. In the first quarter of 2019, 44% of almost 4,000 small businesses said they have been severely affected by load shedding, and 85% of those businesses said it has reduced their revenue. Here's a graph of load shedding periods during last year. As we can see, there are inconsistent shedding periods with some lasting better parts of months. So what is the problem? Eskom is South Africa's primary energy provider, and energy distribution requirements aren't being met. Eskom supplies power to more than 5 million households in 5 million residential and industrial units. Load shedding is prevalent, especially during peak evening hours from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. If you're not listed as an exempt service, I wish you the best of luck in finding dependable power. Eskom currently relies heavily on natural and non-renewable sources to meet these energy demands. Bribe incentivized ownership is looking at solving the energy gap while putting money back into well-investing customers' pockets. Bribe.io has developed alternative solar energy programs to power housing complexes during these load shedding hours. Our energy service pricing is subject to change and depends on your housing power expenditure. The smallest energy systems begin at a rating of 2 kilowatts and would save you up to 1,300 rand, which is approximately 20% overall energy cost savings per month. Larger rated systems of 3 kilowatts would save you anywhere from 1,300 to 2,200 annually, and 5 kilowatt systems would save you anywhere from 2,200 to 5,000, and upwards of 10 kilowatt hour systems will save you more than 5,000. Ideally, Bribe.io would offer 24/7 customer support, as well as a power guarantee during load shedding hours. The cost savings on a Bribe.io systems compounds over time because of increasing energy demands and costs. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you very much for listening, and please inquire today.
Awesome. Thank you, Stanley. I'm just going to bring everyone else back in here. Excellent. So what was your motivation for going into energy, or for wanting to try to save some of the shortages and the rolling blackouts that they have down in South Africa?
Yeah, so I guess my main motivation changed over time, because I first saw it as I guess the energy gap as sort of like just a technical or engineering like problem.
Mm-hmm.
But then like the further I dove into like the situation and like literally just current events, as a matter of fact, like one of my teammate on like the green team, Lindani, he's being severely affected by like load shedding. So far to the point where like sometimes, for example, mid presentation, he would have to like cut out, and then I guess miss like the rest of the presentation. Hopefully, catch up in like the pre-recorded video, and so it's sort of like it was sort of just like an engineering problem turned into a passion project for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Stanley, like, I know you kind of presented the problem itself. So in terms of the solution, like, like since we spoke last time, like how do you go about it? Like, I really want to know. And like, trust me, like, compared to the last presentation, this is, I think my tone will be a little more serious because this is such an important project. The impact is huge. The impact on it is huge. So yeah, I'm just curious, like, how are you solving, like, how are you thinking about solving the business problem?
Initially, I sort of had tunnel vision, I'll admit. I was hyper focused on developing the MVP, but as soon as I guess like time went on and like sort of an initial design came to be, like I realized that the like there is a huge time constraint, especially in like this Darkhorse program. And so I switched focus or like pivoted towards I guess right now I'm just attempting to sort of rebrand existing products under the Bribio name. And I'm also exploring I guess other energy gap demands that also might be like attributed to like Bribio like as a project as whole. Like I was sort of looking for potential partners and reaching out to like yeah, I guess like main or key competitors to Bribio.
Right. That's excellent because yeah, again, the reason is like I was just actually before this like today's stream, I was just talking to a friend, and I don't know if some of you know in Toronto, maybe Paul knows, there's a smog. Like apparently there's a wildfire in North Ontario, which is causing a huge smog in Toronto right now, and including my family are being affected. And I'm just looking around, in the past few months we had, huge floods, huge, like what they're calling heat dome in BC. You're from BC, right? And like apparently a billion, animals and like sea creatures were like have died. There's like huge effects that climate change is having, and honestly, the only solution is going to a carbon neutral world. And this is such an important project. So yeah, like I'm glad that you have kind of pivoted to move to a much faster, finding the solution much faster. It's just ultimately you become the pipeline, right? You become the pipeline where you source things at cheap cost, and then you just bring it to the market, and that's what it needs, so that we can as much carbon footprint we can reduce. It's huge, and energy I think is like 28 or 29% of the global contributor. So if we can take that out, that's to me is huge. So yeah.
I'm going to give you my first piece of today, anyway, the first gaming related advice. That's the theme I came up with for today. So, professional sports, you're starting a new team right now. It's called Bribe, right? And you've got a few draft picks, but you're not going to be able to put together, a team that's going to compete in the finals in year one. It never happens, right? You might get somebody who's a generational talent that joins your team, one of the equipment manufacturers that you're going to work with, that you're going to draft. But you're basically going to have to think about the long game. You're going to have to think about, what am I going to do? What's the end game? So as an engineer, obviously you want to build some amazing product in the future, and you want to eventually, win the championship. But right now you've got to kind of think, short term. What are the things I'm going to do in the next 6 months that's going to accomplish like sort of my year one mission, right? That's all you need to worry about. You don't need to worry about like, winning the market. You don't need to worry about, identifying every product that you want to bring in. You don't even need to worry about like figuring out what the next product is going to have to be that you're going to build. All you need to do is find that one or two pieces that's going to like start to build the future of the dynasty, right? Of the future of Bribe. And so I really respect what you're doing in terms of kind of forcing yourself out of your natural proclivities. That's a big word, but natural, basically, getting yourself in a direction to, look at things that are already in the market that you can leverage to solve this problem. Because again, the problem is what you need to be a servant to, right? Not, our talent. It's like, again, it doesn't matter how talented you are. It's not the talent that's going to win the championship. It's going to be about like, what steps do I need to take to kind of, assemble, the dream team that eventually I'll have, which is going to have, some of your own original products. And I'm sure, all that stuff, if you carried this out beyond the 6 months. So anyway, so I love the direction that you're taking it. I think that it makes a ton of sense. And it's the only thing you're going to be able to do in 6 months realistically, right?
Exactly. Yep.
So I have one more question, Stanley, is that the vendors you've spoken with, like, what are their feedbacks? How are they receiving you?
It's actually like a idea in progress. I haven't actually spoken to any vendors, but yeah, like I guess of the I'll just leave it at that. I just haven't spoken to any vendors.
Okay. Yeah. So I think from my side, my challenge to you would be actually to let's start talking, right? That move the wheels forward. So talk to the vendors who will be willing to partner and see how the business model works, so that again you can get the track and bring it to market, right? Because just like with any product, any business, you have to test it, and you have to have like Emery was saying, your team, right? And in this case, the vendors. So yeah, so that would be my challenge for you.
Challenge accepted.
Excellent.
I would also say definitely leverage your colleagues. There's been a lot of interest in the program for your project, Stanley. So you've got now three South Africans that all have more or less technical backgrounds that want to support your project and become your co-pilots. So the fact that they're here, they can do a lot of stuff on the ground with you, maybe sort of working on the other side of the business, because really at the end of the day, it's getting the vendors, but then it's also figuring out, some pilot customers, right? Or even just pilot testers or whatever you want to call it, but, or figuring out what, who should be those initial customers, right? Who should we be targeting? What's the, what region of South Africa, who maybe there's like a subgroup that needs it more than everybody else. And that can be, something that they can do some research on the ground here and start talking to a lot of people. Right. So obviously it's something that I think can serve the entire country, but there's definitely going to be people that are more desperate for, the energy than others. Right. So which is the case with everything. Right. So that would be something to think about, as well as leveraging your team and getting them to sort of, start thinking about some of the stuff that you can't do as well, not being, locally on the ground in South Africa.
Great advice. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah. Great work, though. I'm loving the progress and the traction. Yeah, good job. Let's see if we have any questions from the, while we have you here, you've got a few comments. So Stacy says, well done, Stanley. Definitely solving a massive issue in South Africa. And Lindani says, bribe IO. Flame. And so I think you've definitely, people are liking what you're doing. So, well, thank you very much, Stan. Looks good, and appreciate it. Unless one of the coaches has other comments or questions, we're going to invite the next EIR in.
I'm good. Thanks, Stanley.
Awesome.
Oh, good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. My
What?
Hello.
I gotta love the delay that it comes in like the most inopportune times too.
This is
It's
ridiculous.
just like, yep.
It's pretty good though. It's like classic. It's classic. It's the perfect delay, you know?
Yeah, Susash just switched to
every
analog.
single
It's fantastic.
like present by. That like
Oh no!
I'm sure like everyone is listening, and I'm sure Stanley's too. Only thing I was gonna say is that all feel free to reach out to any of one of us, and I think that goes for all of the coaches. So please, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out. Thanks. That's all. And yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, me giving everyone a hard time and reminding them to reach out and be proactive with asking for help. That comes at the end of the presentations today, usually, that I aggressively dictate to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and chase them around in Slack.
Oh yeah, no,
massive DMs everywhere. You know, everybody's getting DM'd.
I'm so bad at that too. Like I absolutely copy and paste things, even like to the partners over at Meta Eye, and I have to tell everyone everything, and nobody's paying attention to me. I'm like, fine, I'm going to send it all to you normally, and I'm going to push a notification to you because listen to me, damn it, this is important.
Nice. And Stanley got your message, Susash, in a massive delay, but he did get it eventually.
Awesome.
Cool.
That's
well,
all
who's next?
Matters.
We have Chandrika, and then we have Himani, I believe, are the last two for the day.
Last two for the day, yeah.
Excellent.
Shamsia is going to do hers on Friday.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Let's bring Chandrika up. Hello.
Hello, Chandrika.
Hi, everyone. How are you all?
Awesome. I think we're all doing really well, and Susahash is doing really well 5 minutes from now. So.
Hold on, we're waiting for the joke to land. There it is.
So I'm in a different time zone, guys.
You are indeed. Different. Some would say even maybe potentially a different dimension. So Chandrika, we're excited about your project.
It's multiverse, my friend.
Yeah, I am excited too, and a lot of nervousness is also there. But let's see how it goes.
Amazing. Well, yeah. we're ready.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't stress too much about it. At some point, I think we've got like coaches' stories and stuff that's kind of coming up. We're all going to talk about some of the stuff that we've done. I have pitched so terribly to people with so much money before and done such a terrible job. Don't worry about it. It's just us. Mm-hmm. I mean, Emery's really hard about these things. He's very, very concerned. But the rest of us are okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's because I unlike Paul, I've pitched really horribly to people with no money, and so it scars you. That's what really scars you.
Yeah, there's nothing like
you never even had a chance to raise money, and you still do a bad job. Like,
there's nothing really, like pitching to your best friend, and then they have that look in their eyes where it's just like, why did I ever become friends with you 10 years ago?
Exactly.
But Chandrika, we're all gonna hop off. We'll give the stage to you, and we'll talk to you in a few minutes.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. See you at the end.
No problem. So let me just take us away.
I hope my screen is visible now. So today we have gathered here to talk a little bit about Heavenly Street. And as the name itself says, we are going to take you on a very beautiful and magical journey. So starting from the first slide, so here it says sustainably sourced. So what we mean by that is we integrate the social, ethical, and environmental performance when it comes to selecting our suppliers. So I think it's very critical these days when you're, especially if you're working in a beauty industry, that you come up with products that put out as less toxins as possible, or that limit the number of chemicals that we expose to ourselves and the environment as well. So I think that's our primary motivation here, and also to help our customers get a beautiful skin. So let's start. What we do is one of our primary ingredients is palm oil. So palm oil is basically the most sustainable oil on this planet. And however, it's a very controversial subject because palm forests are responsible for a lot of damage that is done to our environment. For example, the deforestation and messing with the wildlife. So Palm Done Right basically is an organization that wants to change that, and they do it in the right way, and we'll talk about it a little further. So here we have three main objectives with our brand, which is to sustain our customers, sustain yourself, that is you, our customers, sustain others, that is our suppliers, our farmers, and then sustain the earth. So let's get started. So who is Pumpkin Ride and why them? So Pumpkin Ride basically they are trying to set up a kind of process where the palm forest they do not interfere with the organic or the life that is around us, the wildlife, the flora and the fauna. And what they want to do is they want to take out damage that is being done to the environment because of the palm forest, because we cut out a lot of trees and we plant new trees, and it is being deforested again, to get the cycle continued and to keep sourcing the palm oil, and which is actually very detrimental not just to the environment but also the living organisms that are living in that uh, ecosystem. So basically, Palmton Right is 100% organic, and what they do is they limit the deforestation. They are also wildlife friendly. They support the biodiversity, and they practice multi-cropping so that again the deforestation is less. Also, they are fair and social. So they are trying to add as many farmers as possible to their community so that they can expand this idea and they can change how palm forests are being looked at today in the world, which is highly controversial. So let's welcome you to the new show page and let's get started. So our products are 100% natural, they are handmade, they are eco-friendly, and they also support the non-profit organization that are associated with us. But that is not all. Here are some of the ingredients that are currently being used in our current the product portfolio that we have right now. So we have cinnamon, we have honey, we have aloe vera, lavender, sage, and things like that. And they're fully packed with antioxidants, antiseptics, probiotics, and things that will help you not just you know uh, control the damage that is on your skin, but help you repair your skin and get a flawless skin for a longer period. However, we are still in a continuous process of development. So what we are going to do is we are going to ask you, our customers, learn about your skin types, the issues that you are currently facing with your skin, what are your aspirations when it comes to having a healthy skin, and then we are going to help you learn more about the kind of products that you should be using to achieve those aspirations and match you with the right kind of product. So just to give you a little bit insight into how the beauty industry works, today people use about 10 personal care products and they have about 126 different ingredients, all chemicals, and that is really, really bad for your skin because there are formaldehydes, there are parabens, there are several carcinogenic chemicals that pose a high risk to your skin and it can even cause cancer. And I'm not even kidding. So our mission is to try and limit the number of chemicals that you're exposed to, like I mentioned before, and kind of green your beauty routine. So what we want is you to have a clean beauty routine where you do not associate with the chemicals as much, and you have the same benefits that you get from temporarily or for a short term from using such products. So here are some of the benefits that we would like to have by using our products. So we want you to heal, feel refreshed, get therapize your skin, moisturize your skin, and eventually our target is that you age beautifully. So we don't want to be someone who want to promote that idea of anti-aging. I think aging is beautiful, and if done the right way, you can enjoy that process. So that is what we want to achieve here. So here's our product portfolio. Currently, we have 6 soaps in our basket. We have West Coast, that is good for that is good, that works well as an exfoliator, and it also has olive oil and coconut oil as a base, so that the essential oils that are used, they can be diluted and they do not have as much that irritating effect on your skin that generally happens with the essential oils. Then we have Country Breakfast, we have Soothe, and we have Artisan, Serenity, and Humble. So we have different kind of products that are built according to the specific, the most common issues. So this is kind of, this portfolio is basically based on the idea of mass customization, because we are trying to learn about the most common skin issues that people have. For example, some people, they struggle with the dry skin. Some people, they struggle with the combination type of skin, like myself. When I moved here in Canada, my skin type suddenly changed, and it's sometimes dry, it's sometimes oily. So for myself as well, I struggle with finding the right product for myself, and I'm not okay with having an extensive beauty routine where I first washing my face, then I'm toning my face. I cannot do that. I'm the kind of person who wants one product, one-stop solution for my skin needs, and that is what we would like to give out to our customers. So, coming to the question, why would you choose us? Because this industry is highly crowded. There are lots of handmade soaps out there, lots of organic soaps out there. So why choose us? So we basically build natural products that promote the well-being of our customers, our earth, and our non-profit partners. So part of our proceeds is socially driven, and we support our non-profit partners by giving them a percentage of the revenue that we earn. We also have recyclable and minimally used packaging. So what do we want to achieve here is we want to cut down the wastage. We do not want to use plastics and stuff like that just to get aesthetically packed product. We want to actually help the environment in every possible way. That's why we also promote bulk ordering, so that we can reduce our carbon footprint due to the logistics. And that is just a part of how we are going to do things here. So next, all our ingredients are organic and sustainably sourced. Again, that deals with the social, ethical, and environmental performance of our suppliers. And next, we are partnering with organizations like Palm Done Right, who support the cause to use the palm oil with the most sustainable practices. Next, we have a diverse and carefully assembled product line for your skin needs. Also, we are still working on our product line because we want to, like I said, mass customization. We want to help as many customers as possible identify their needs. Even if it's a small section of the population, we still want to address your needs and help you with that. So lastly, we are still learning and we are still growing, and we just want to be everything that you want in your soap and everything you want in a brand. So I really urge you all to help us tell a story of collaborative growth, learning, innovation, and preservation. So that would be all from my side. Thank you all.
Awesome.
That was wonderful. Great job, Chandrika. I was worried for a minute there because you had a bit of lag issues with the, I think, with the connection, but you got through it and everything started to sort itself out.
Yeah, I was just lagging myself, actually.
There was some natural lag and there was some technical lag, and then the combination created a whole phenomenon. No, but it was a fantastic job, though. I think you had a lot that you were trying to communicate, and this is the first time you're presenting, so this project. So well done. So what ways have you thought about? And if there's any EAR that has questions, please put them in Facebook for us so we can kind of see, and we can ask Chandrika, and any comments for her as well. I'd love to see them. Actually, I'm gonna be polite. I'm not gonna be the first to ask questions here. I'm going to let Susahash.
Oh no, you got like 60% of the way to asking a question there. I'm not letting you bail out that easily. Absolutely not.
All right. I'm going to circle back in. So my question is, what ways are you thinking about distribution? So is it all going to be through your own website? Is it going to be through your website and partners? Are you going to be using things like Amazon and other platforms potentially? Are you trying to go direct to consumer? What are you thinking about in that way? And two-part question. What are you thinking about with this idea of, I'm going to keep harping on it with everybody, frankly, but how are you going to get consistent revenue? What's your plan to make it so that it's more predictable revenue, it's more consistent revenue? So if it's a subscription model of some type or some other way that you can kind of be more predictable in terms of the growth of your project.
So my plan is to have multiple channels for the revenue. So I do not want to be just an e-commerce platform that is directly selling to customer. I would love to partner with or other businesses such as the corporate gifting platforms or personal gifting platforms, and there are also craft fairs that we can associate with, to demonstrate our product and help garner as many customers as we can, and also educate them one-on-one. Like if we are in a craft fair, we get to present our product at the same time, talk to our customers in the real space, and have them learn more about the benefits that we are offering. Second, I would also love to try some channels like Amazon Handmade, because obviously Amazon is actually the biggest e-commerce platform out there, and it has it can reach a lot of customers. So I would like to use platforms like that to expand my customer base. And because also we are socially driven, I want to reap as many benefits I can so that I can help our non-profit partners. So that's one of our mission here, not just to help our customers, but to also help our earth and also help our non-profit partners. And also I'm a bit thinking into I want to educate our customers. I want to take them through this journey. So I will be using social media platforms, to document every part of this process, from sourcing, manufacturing, packaging, and distribution. So they will be able to see this in the real time and actually experience what we are building here, why are we building it, and how are we going to help them with their individual needs.
Brilliant. Love it. One of the things that you talked about is customization. How are you going to be able to do that? What's the way that you're going to be able to, you called it, what is it, mass customization or?
Mass customization.
Yeah, mass customization. So what's the way that you're going to achieve that? Or what's the idea so far that you're thinking about?
So I technically prefer customized products like everybody else out there. But with customization, there comes a lot of setbacks in terms of your cost, and it does hamper your budget, and it does narrows down the gross margin that you are achieving from your business. So what I wanted to do is find a better way to proceed with that. So with skin needs, there are so many people who have common issues, common skin types, and common challenges with their skin health. So with mass customization, there are also certain types, like we can be collaborative, we can be transparent. So what I wanted to achieve is, like, I want to build a plan where we can kind of encompass as many customers as we can into different modules. Like there's one for dry skin, there's one for the oily skin, there's one for the combination skin, and so on. And there are some other customers who have like specific challenges. Some they struggle with eczema. Some struggle with other skin conditions like there's psoriasis, and I would like to counter those issues as well. And the products that are currently being sold into the market, they do claim that they will help with such specific issues, but they do not really do that as much, because the kind of ingredients that actually counter those problems are in a bit of like they are less concentrated, like diluted in the whole chemical composition of the product. So I would like to build some products that are specifically curated for those needs, and also those that counter the mass problems like I mentioned, the dry skin, oily skin. And also we are going to use social media platforms to do surveys and pop quizzes with our customers and learn more about their needs and develop a strategy based on that, so that we can have a data to work on, analyze that, interpret that, and then come up with a module that will help us ignite the strategy. Let's see.
Awesome. Stacy Lee says, lovely presentation, Chandrika. You nailed it. Love the sustainability behind your products. Would consumers fill out a questionnaire a questionnaire on your website to see what soap is best for their skin? It's a question from her. So would consumers fill out a questionnaire?
Yes, absolutely. We would have a question on our website as well. We will have some education-based blogs out there. Like, for example, if you come up with a result afterwards, like you get your result that this is your skin type and this may be the product that we would like to offer you, match with you. So what we are also gonna do is we will have some content ready for the customer. Like, this is some other things that you can integrate in your daily routines to help you with your skin needs along with our product. So I think that could be a good way to help our customers get have that holistic approach, because a soap cannot just help you get that type of skin that you need. You need to have lifestyle changes. You need to do more. And we are, like I said, I don't really believe in heavy skincare routines, and I think the lifestyle changes work more for a longer period as well, and that's what we are going to target.
Awesome.
Amazing. Like
Good idea.
I love everything you said, from the data analysis to the customization. It's so important, everything that you said. Actually, first of all, like, lovely presentation. I loved your, like, everything you touched on. Everything was very well put. And it's actually, I'm gonna go off a little bit on a tangent, but it's a little bit personal for me, the story that you shared. And no, it's actually very serious. Like, from the age of 23 until the age of 28, for almost 5 years, I suffered from a chronic skin condition. And I went to a lot of doctors, dermatologists, and no one could help. And everyone just kept giving me very strong medications, steroids, and if anything, it actually damaged my skin more. And the funny thing was, me being a scientist myself, at the end, I ended up actually just collecting data and what food I was eating. I was collecting, like, how the condition was, what did I do, what I didn't do. And believe it or not, I figured out at the end that it was actually sugar. Like, believe it or not, it was sugar. That if I had sugar in my food or starch, like, that would increase and make my things condition worse. And then for 5 months, I stopped eating anything sugar. And believe me, I'm a lover of sugar. I have a sweet tooth, and I had completely stopped. And that was the beginning of my healing process. So it was such a journey for me. For 5 years to suffer chronically, it was very hard. And then to find out that, I always believed in more than medicine, and I just thought doctors have all the answers. They don't. So the fact that you already touched on all these things and you're thinking about it from a business point of view, that makes it so holistic. I love it. I really love it. And yeah, so applause to you. And
Thank you,
I
Raj.
just absolutely. I just wanted to kind of know, as kind of Emery touched on the points, like, how are you thinking of kind of the partnerships that you're building? How, like, I know you talked about the sustainability part, but how do you go about kind of also building those partners and vetting them? How do you vet them that they are the solution?
So what I have done for now is I have shortlisted the number of platforms that I can reach out to, and I'm currently in the middle of studying how do they choose their vendors, how they check the suppliers, and what is their process, how many, the kind of customers they reach out to, and what kind of audience they have. And if they match with our audience, and if the customers are interested in the kind of products that we are offering, and if they have the same kind of like the mindset that we have, that we want to be socially driven, we want to be eco-friendly, so I would like to partner with such organizations, and I'm going to build a pitch based on that. So based on their eligibility criteria as well, and also what we want to offer and what we are looking for in our partners. So I think that's the way I would like to approach that.
Awesome. That's excellent. And from a business side, like, what is kind of the revenue model? Is it a subscription based? Like, I know people fill in the information and everything customized, you find the right product, but then is it a subscription model? How are you going about it?
So we will have our own e-commerce platform where customers can also have a subscription if they want to, but we would also like to use social media as well as the business partnerships, like a B2B model, so that we can expand our customer outreach, and we can also reach as much audience as we can to not just promote our product, but also promote the mindset that we have and change the way the things are done right now. Because like I said, there are thousands of chemicals we are being exposed to, the earth is being exposed to, and it's not just causing us skin problems, but it's also causing problems to the environment, to the wildlife, and we just want to
Yeah. So from a Darkhorse point of view, because we have only 6 months, so in this 6 months, what would you focus on?
My first primary focus would be to learn more about customer needs. That's my first target, to learn more about our customers, to learn more about the skin needs. And next, my next target would be to build a product portfolio that is most that accommodates all those needs as much as it can. And the next part would be to focus on the distribution. So how are we going to reach the maximum customers we can, and how are we going to help them with their needs, and how are they going to help us with our mission?
Right. Okay, cool. My only suggestion would be that, and you guys can chime in, the other coaches, I think if you can pick a specific niche, that might be very helpful, because that way you do many product lines, you don't have to do too many things. You solve one specific group and their problem, and once you have dominated them, then expand. I'm not saying just do that, but then expand, rather than saying, hey, we solve everything for everyone. Because again, we want to grow, start small, do very well, and then grow accordingly. So that would be my only suggestion.
Yeah, I do agree with you.
And
It's
thank you.
better to
Thank you for the
focus
presentation.
on one thing, and then get started from there, because it will also give us an experience, like how well we are performing, and then we can maybe address other needs and other gaps that are there in the industry.
100%. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rachel says, I love your customization idea, Chandrika. So you got a big endorsement from Rachel on that. Any other questions for Chandrika?
I don't have any.
Comments.
This is not exactly my forte, shockingly. But overall, I like the presentation. I know that palm oil and sustainability is a huge issue, and palm oil overall has a fairly negative connotation to it, just due to deforestation and the unethical ways that it's been put together. So I'm a huge fan of already thinking about that now, before you kind of even get going, before the products are done. So that's the one thing, is a bit of a kudos on that side, from a perception, from a branding, from a methodology and sort of philosophical perspective. That's all I've got. If you create something for men at some point, feel free to ship it over, or let me know where I can buy it.
Definitely, Paul.
I think beer and hair products are Paul's.
Man,
specialty.
Why?
I have to. I'm sorry.
Well, it was when Paul said I'm not really into this type of thing. The only thing I was thinking was, you're not into showering, you're not into washing, or
no. So it's not even that. Ironically enough, it's so strange that as a mostly functioning adult, I can kind of take care of myself. And just because I lost the genetic lottery in the top 4% of my head doesn't make me any less of a person, Emery. Thanks for bringing it up. But more so that, at least for me and for a lot of my friends, like, skincare and taking care of that aspect of you has never really been a big thing. Like, it's not something that we were taught. It's not something that we do. And, like, inevitably, like, I smoked for a really long time. Thankfully, I've quit. But, like, cigarettes take a huge toll on it. Drinking does, constant sun exposure. And, like, the amount that I had used to take care of, like, I literally just picked up a facial cleanser like 3 months ago. I've turned 33 not that recently ago. And, like, this is the first time I've actually started, like, consciously saying, okay, well, maybe I should actually take care of my skin. And I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, there's no shortage of articles out there. There's no shortage of information. But, like, Emery.
So, Chandrika, you've got your avatar right there. He has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah.
He has disposable income. He needs help. Clearly he needs a lot of help. That's your avatar right there. Niche down from Paul, and everybody else comes after.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in touch with you, Paul.
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean, honestly, like from my perspective of coming into this market for the first time, like I'm looking at there's so much conflicting information. Like if I have slightly oily skin, I should be doing this, but never use this product. But a different article says the exact inverse of that. Like. Mm-hmm. It's all kind of best guess at this point. Like throwing a dart into like a Shoppers Drug Mart that we have up here in Canada and being like, great, this is what I'm going to put on my body now. Like that's kind of the extent of information of where sort of at least my demographic is sort of sitting on. So yeah, like I'm actively looking for something too, but like, please don't do it just for me. If like my target market makes the most amount of sense, cool. Just send me a message in a few years when you've got it sorted.
Absolutely. I'll keep that in mind.
Awesome.
What are you thinking, Carla?
I'm very excited. And well done, Chandrika. We had quite a few conversations recently, so I think you did really well in your presentation. And I agree with what Susaj says with just, like focusing on one thing and getting that right first. But I'm also very excited long term to see more products being added, aside from just soap and having like full ranges for face and body and hair. There's so many opportunities for what you can do with this. So I'm really excited to see it. Overall, well done.
Thank you so much,
well done. Awesome job.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to doing a bit of a workshop with you and some of the other EIRs because it looks like you're getting a really strong idea around the actual product. I think it would be helpful now to start to dig into some marketing and some ways to get some customer development going. So I think that will be a big part of your next couple of weeks for sure. So looking forward to doing that with you.
Same here, Amri. Thank you so much.
Awesome. We'll see you soon.
Awesome.
See you.
All right. I think we have one left, and we're going to finish potentially close to the end of the day on schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Excellent.
Pretty
well, with all of that information and excitement going into this.
I was thinking when you said that, Paul, I'm like, wait a minute, I wanted to do a presentation, but I'm like, thank God they don't have to listen to another Emery presentation. So perfect. Let's go.
You know what, Emery? You just do your presentation, whether the stream's on or not, it doesn't matter. That's totally okay.
That's true. I can definitely do that.
Absolutely.
There's a mirror behind me somewhere, and I'm gonna just go do the presentation after this meeting.
Fantastic. So we've got Hamani coming up last, and I believe it's Modern Saint.
Awesome.
Emery, yes, fantastic.
Yes, you're right. Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, like usually our banter is pretty good, but like this whole affirmation thing we're just missing today. It's just like, oh yeah, Emery, what do you think? It's just like, yeah, I think you're an idiot. It's like, dude, super not helpful. But let's bring Hamani up here.
Awesome.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
Hey, Hamani.
Awesome. We're trying to keep it together just for you. We're just trying to hold it all together. Just try to get through the last half hour.
20 more minutes.
We don't let Hamani down. But we're excited about you getting an opportunity to kind of come up and introduce your project.
Yeah, I'm excited as well, and hopefully everyone enjoys.
I'm sure we will.
Awesome. Are you all ready to go, Hamani?
Yes.
Fantastic. We'll do some transitions, and the stage is yours.
Okay, so my project is Modern Saint, and I'm working with Ashna and Shamsia. So before we get started, I want to lead with a fun fact. So over 1 billion people worldwide have a vitamin D deficiency, and this was a study done in 2013. So I'm not really sure of the actual number right now, but I don't think it could have changed too much. But when I saw this fact, this really shocked me. 1 billion people, that's a lot of the world. Underlining the word billion, that is insane. So just let that sit with you. So now on to the problem. So many people don't really take vitamins. I'll be honest, that's me too sometimes. Like when I remember, I will take some, but it's not like a regular thing that I do because I do forget. I'm a human. And there are many people who also don't know where to begin because there's so many. And here you can see there's a bunch that I put on the screen. That's only like a very few amount, like the total. But all of these are part of the essential vitamins, the 13 essential vitamins. I'm missing some, but yeah. So other than the essentials, there's so many more too. So it's really hard to know where to start without proper research. And that can be very intimidating for people who haven't gotten into vitamins and supplements. So the solution to this is having a monthly subscription box based on the customer's needs. This, I'll get into this more in the next slide, but if we have a website and have basically like a quiz that people can take that will let them know which vitamins and supplements that will be beneficial for them. They can more carefully and better tailor to their own needs instead of just trying to take a bunch of everything and not really knowing what to take. So how this would all work. So it would be on, would have a website and people would be able to choose one of the available box sets. So in the beginning, we would have about one or two box sets, preferably like more of like a general like multivitamin, like just a general sort of supplements, vitamins that a lot of people can take. So people can choose those box sets, and as the business continues to grow, we can have more specific towards more specific boxes towards other groups of people, like say people who go to the gym and work out and want more of that, those kind of supplements like protein and pre-workouts and that sort of stuff. And also like there's so many other niches that we can target to. And then the next step would be selecting a plan. So people can choose a subscription plan that works for them. If they want to just try something new, they can choose like 1 month, one box. If they know what they want and they just want to continue that for a long period of time, they can select that as well. They can do 6 months, they can do like 12 months, whatever they really want. And then the last step would be customizing the vitamins. So once they take the quiz, they can see like what works best for them, or what basically they need. And then you can kind of swap stuff out of the box to kind of suit yourself, right? To make sure you're getting what you need the most. So this would be some products in like an example box. So here we have like multivitamins. So that has the 13 essentials that you need, that everyone needs. So you could take those. Basically, I think it's you take them every day. And then you have also like the macro greens, which is just a superfood supplement drink, and also omega-3s. So this would just be like an example box for, I guess, a basic, like a universal box that anyone can buy, because everyone needs these supplements and vitamins because it's just essential for everyone. Yeah. So why us? So you can argue that you can buy vitamins anywhere and supplements anywhere, and you could just go to the store, buy it whenever you want. But we are just a one-stop shop, basically, for your needs for vitamins and supplements. So you only have to go on the website, order once, and kind of like forget about it. If you subscribe, it'll always just be at your door every month, and you don't really have to worry about, when your bottle is, like when you're out of supplements, or, going to the store to go get some. It's delivered straight to your door every month, and you can personalize it. You can change it. You can change items, swap it out, try new things, or if you're really just keen on staying on one specific plan, then you can, go for that. So you're able to personalize it however much you want. And it's a great way to get started in the health world, because I know a lot of people who don't know, again, where to begin. And this is a great way for you to just kind of step in, try different things out, and not be like committed to a certain product right away. And you can try a bunch of different things. So I think that's what makes us different than just going to a store, a grocery store, or a health food store to buy something. It's all very easy. It's customizable. It's just something you don't really have to worry about too much, which is great when, you're busy and you don't really have the time to like research all these, crazy vitamins and, minerals that, it takes a lot of time to learn about them. So it makes it all very easy for the average consumer and the average human. So, yeah. So any questions? And I have the socials on the bottom as well.
Just give us 1 second to hop back in here. Awesome.
Great job. Wow. Very, very well
Nice
done.
presentation.
Well done.
Yeah. Yeah. Great job.
Yeah,
Great
I had
job.
one of those things that sort of pops up. When you're listening to somebody talk and it's just like, this is a really good idea. Like, again, back on my whole self-care routine, I just started taking vitamins at the beginning of this year because apparently that's a good thing to do. And the same thing, my choice was indicated because mine are gummies and they have sugar on them and they're actually delicious. Like the health benefits and how it's structured has not been a consideration, but like a curated sort of methodology of how to take care of myself sounds wonderful.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you became like the avatar for all of our projects, Paul.
Hey, look, man, the pandemic was rough on all of us.
No, it's good. I'm happy to hear that. It's very exciting. No, I'm actually in the same boat where, I chase the sun at this point. I chase the seasons because I realize how depressed I get in the winter in Canada. And part of that reason is because obviously, well, the cold is probably part of it, but the bigger part of it, I think, is lack of vitamin D and vitamin D deficiency and lack of sun, right? And so I think having a done for you, sort of convenient service. I mean, we're seeing the explosion of at-home delivery services and like direct-to-consumer products. So anything that you can make it more convenient and also make it like less confusing as to what I should be taking. So figuring out, I think that's going to be sort of a bit of my question, is how we're going to figure out, or how you're going to figure out what people should order, right? So making that so that like almost kind of similar to what Rachel was talking about in the beginning about like, is there a way to gamify this a little bit, make it a little more interesting, a little more fun, but also still like actually, this is a really important thing, right? You don't want to be giving people the wrong vitamins and stuff like that. So that's the thing I would probably have a question about. And before I get into my question note, I'll tell you a few comments. So Stacy was saying, love your idea. I would suggest that you ask brands to sample for samples that you can add to the boxes as a marketing tool for them, but also so consumers can sort of sample things and get examples of maybe different options. So I think that's a great idea, like just leveraging the fact that you've got this distribution channel. I mean, you can definitely get some freebies in there, and it also adds value to the box by gives people a little bit of magic, like a little bit of like surprises, beyond what they've ordered. And then Chandrika said, I was part of the 1 billion people who have vitamin D deficiency until recently. And I think the reason the number is huge is because of the lack of awareness, and also because these symptoms are usually confused with usual fatigue or skin issues or depression. I'm just adding that. I love your idea, Hamani. I think that you can solve a lot of problems for a lot of people. So big endorsement from Chandrika. And yeah. So, and one more comment. So Stacey was, I hope we can see a COVID prevention box. Yeah. Immune booster, for COVID, future COVIDs, pandemic proofing your body. Cool. So yeah, so I guess again, my big question is like sort of how do you start to customize this thing? What's your sort of go-to-market strategy? Because it's an overwhelming problem. I mean, everybody theoretically could get supplements. What I like your strategy about picking a couple of boxes to start with. But what is how are you identifying who's your starting market? Like, who are you? Is it Paul, or are you going to be selling beyond Paul in the beginning?
Like I've been thinking about this, and we kind of had this chat yesterday with my team. Like I was thinking having more of like a general sense, like a general box that appeals to more people, because like a multivitamin, everyone kind of needs that, and it can be like marketed towards anyone, young or old. It's always like something like there's no harm in taking a multivitamin and just general supplements like the green juice. It's really just beneficial for anyone, and I think that's a good starting point because we can, again, like market it towards anyone, and it's not restricting age. And with health, like having a niche, I feel like is different than having a niche with like other sort of products, like say fashion, right? Because with health, there are certain risks that people have to consider. Whereas with fashion, like say people outside of that niche buy that product, there's not much of a risk that they're really taking. But with your health, it's very like people are very iffy and they don't want to risk things. So if we say like target it towards just a very small group of people, it might like deter other people from like really looking at our product. So thinking more of a general sense.
I see. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and then sort of see who takes you up on it. I guess the convenience is sort of the big sell there with different populations and different demographics. Cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Are you focusing on I mean, you have an opportunity to obviously do a lot of the heavy lifting for the consumer. Are you focusing on only going after specific product grades? Like, is it only the best of the best? Is it like the most affordable? Is it just whatever whatever product you find, or like how are you picking the products? Because I mean, I'm assuming not all multivitamins are the same. So how do I pick which brand versus another brand?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think I'd want to like consider all of those. So it's not just being cost efficient or just being the best quality, kind of the best quality for like an average price range. We don't want it to be too out of range for the average person, and we also don't want it to be just too cheap and like not a good quality vitamin, because that's not really what our brand wants. So I think really considering all of those and trying to find the best of like all those worlds is really the best way to go about it.
Yeah, it's almost like a Venn diagram, like of sort of the best value kind of thing. That yeah, very cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think that's going to be probably one of the challenges, and then I guess the other one would be just how you get it in front of your end customer. So I think you're also going to be another good candidate for the Traction Bullseye. We'll probably do that after we finish the presentations. We'll do a live workshop where we can kind of go through your plan to get in the market, and we can give you some feedback and have some suggestions on how do you get people's attention, because this is an education project, right? Like it's about getting people to know that you're there and also why this is important. So yeah, great job though. That's all my questions. Great job.
Thank you.
I want to add or just ask a question.
Yep, go ahead, Carla.
Sorry. Okay. So I don't know if this is me. People can say in the comments and the other coaches as well. I definitely agree that there's a lot of people that obviously don't take vitamins or they don't know what it's for. But for me personally, the reason why I don't buy them is because I own so many and I don't drink them. Like I can literally see 6 bottles of different types of vitamins on my desk that's in my face every day, but I don't drink them. And I think that's something to consider, especially with adults, or it could just be because I'm still a child. that I don't take it. And I think that's why you get things like gummies, like Paul uses, or like a lot of people have started putting their medication in like Pez containers or like a little gumball machine, so that it's fun and you actually want to take it. I was thinking of something that's similar to like an advent calendar that you have over Christmas, where you take like your one chocolate every day until Christmas. Because the idea for me of having a monthly subscription box delivered to my house with all of my vitamins and supplements sounds great, but it's going to be for the first month, and then the next one comes and they just start piling up because I'm not taking them. So it's maybe something cool to consider, and that's also going to set you apart even more, is how you can make it a little bit more fun and interesting to actually encourage people to take the vitamins, because I'm sure I'm not the only person that doesn't buy because I have a whole stash already.
Yep.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I really resonate with what Carla was saying, is that the challenge is a lot of time that's exactly what happens. You get stash of stuff and then you just kind of do it. Initially you're excited, then you kind of don't follow that. That said, like one thing I want to kind of add is on the business side, I know you were kind of looking at a general niche, but doesn't matter whether you're in health or you're in fashion or any industry, a niche is always good for a business. From a business point of view, you should always be focused, and that's kind of very key. So I would strongly recommend that find a niche that it should be hyper focused, hyper local. That way, again, you're bringing in your product line and supplying it to your customer becomes easy, and sourcing your product, maybe you can buy at bulk. There are certain advantages, and also your customers. Ultimately, your customers, that it's much easier to create one message rather than a general message to reach people. And I know we all talked behind the scenes also, and one of the niches actually we discussed was I think pregnant women. And for them, it's it could be a subscription model because it's a fixed time, and it's for 9 months or certain things like that. So I think think about it. Like I'll just ultimately like we're here to kind of give advice and guide you. So that's something I would strongly recommend thinking about it, or at least running an A/B test. Test 2 different markets, see which one works. So that would be my recommendation. So outside of that, like I know you like. Can you tell me like what is your side of your point of view in terms of the where you coming from? What niche excites you, that you as a, I guess, young person, what niche excites you, and why do you think they would want to get behind this?
That's a good question. I'm not like, I think we talked about this yesterday. It's not really a niche, but I was like more eager to market this towards like younger people. Like it's not exactly a niche because it's more of like an age range. But I think for that age range, it's like a good product because, like I said, like me included, I'm not really a vitamin, like a regular taker. So I think it'd be a good, like if you have a box coming, I feel like you're more likely to take it. And if you're like subscribed, you're kind of more like, you're choosing to subscribe. So I feel like it's more of a conscious decision to like continue to keep using it.
Yeah.
But
So So
sorry,
I think like, yeah, sorry, please continue.
No, go ahead.
No, all I was gonna say is that yeah, like I'll just hone down more on it because like again, it seems like so far it's kind of not defined very well. So those are kind of hypotheses. So I'll test those hypotheses and just hone down on what makes sense. So yeah, but overall, I love the presentation. It was very well put. The idea of it, how you had it, that's excellent, and I think that's the way to go about it.
Hamani, may I riff on Susahash's comments for a minute? Because I think that he brought up something really interesting that I think a lot of us entrepreneurs, when we start our career, kind of forget about. And I think he's bringing up some really good points. So the thing with the niches is, first of all, like let's define niche, right? So we're talking basically about a segment of the market. That's all we're saying when we say niche, right? It doesn't have to be a demographic niche. It doesn't have to be a geographic niche. We're just saying take a segment of the market and capture that first, And the narrower you focus, the more easier it is to communicate to that group, because otherwise you get, sort of overwhelmed with the amount of people. Like, the problem that we all have as entrepreneurs is everybody is your market. Anything you envision, you can envision everybody using it, right? I mean, that's why, we do the delusional things we often do, because we're like, I can imagine everybody in the world, enjoying this product. The power of the niche, though, is that everybody speaks a little differently, everybody thinks a little differently, and if you can try to figure out a pattern and capture that one segment pattern, then it gives you, basically I always say, like, the customer that you earn gives you permission to keep working on your project, right? That's what you're doing. You're basically getting permission because they're giving you money that you can spend into additional experiments, into getting further into the market. So if you try to go after a really watered down message, or like a super broad market, the challenge you have is that you're not really speaking really well to anybody. It's just sort of like very generic. And unless you're like Procter and Gamble or some sort of massive company that just like is just everywhere with massive distribution, it's really hard, because you're not going to stand out in a crowd. You're just going to get lost in a sea of noise, right? So one of the things you can think about is there a way to look at the niche that actually does work for you? So maybe, you talked earlier about, you want this to be affordable, but like high quality, right? And then who would really appreciate that most? Maybe there's a group that, would actually get more benefit of that, like a younger person who doesn't have a huge budget, to get like the most expensive thing, but they're going to really appreciate the fact that you've done all this work for them to look after them. Maybe it's like, somebody who's recovering from COVID, right? Like that's an awesome niche right now. Like, a COVID recovery kit, right? Like a lot of people are recovering from COVID. Maybe it's older people, because again, they're very vulnerable. Maybe it's like an immune booster. But thinking of the niche as like, what's the reason why somebody would care about this more than everybody else? That's probably the niche to start with. But don't lose vision of the bigger picture, that you can actually have many more markets that you can capture after that, but it's going to be way easier for you to get attention. It's also going to be way easier for you to get word of mouth. It's going to be way easier for you to do your marketing, because you're going to have a very clear voice, and you can be able to target people that actually fit that demographic. So I think the thing that Susaha shared is really, really vital, and it's something that entrepreneurs normally don't learn early enough, and it ends up becoming very difficult, because now that, like, they're competing with and you don't want to be competing with Johnson & Johnson. Like, that's not what you want to be doing here. They have way more budget than you. You have to come up with an angle that's going to get attention, right? Get somebody's attention beyond what, the bigger companies can spend to get that same attention, right? So anyway, I rambled enough on that, but I think that he actually closed you with like a really good suggestion. The next time, your challenge from us, I think, as coaches, is the next time we see you, we'd like you to have identified one or two niches that you want to test.
Definitely. I think that's something me and my team will talk about, because we only discussed this yesterday, so I didn't have too much time to really pick one or anything like that. So yeah, that's definitely something we will look into, and very important thing. I do agree.
Awesome. Yeah, but great job. Fantastic work so far. I'm really liking the direction. I think you're onto something. There's a couple of comments to close you out. So Rachel says, an Advent style vitamin calendar. Oh yes. Actually, to Carla's point, having something fun that you can put in the boxes would be like epic, because people, aren't taking their vitamins. Like, we're all guilty of that. So, and you can even gamify it. We keep talking about gamifying it, but you could actually take those calendars and you could say, snapshot and, hashtag me, and get entered into a prize if you've completed your calendar for the week, if you've done all your vitamins, and you can make it really interactive and fun. But anyway, Rachel was saying that it's a great idea, Carla. Take athletic greens, where the powder they put in my smoothies. I heard that athletic greens through an entrepreneurial throw in an entrepreneurial newsletter to subscribe to. And I think working with a niche newsletter blog who targets your audience is a great idea, because it gives you authority if that newsletter blog endorses your product. So partnerships would be pretty cool. Go to market. And then Chandrika was COVID recovery kits could be an amazing starting point. I know a lot of people personally who have integrated vitamins into their ideal post-COVID and into their diet post-COVID. I can't read. And are now following it religiously. Yeah, I think that's a massive opportunity, because I think there's a lot of people that, want to get their immune system back up, and are also very, very sensitive to the fact that they want to prevent, because you can catch COVID twice. We all are seeing that. Like, people are catching it more than once now. So, just having somebody who goes, I'm going to recover my immune system as quickly as possible and prevent, something like this happening again, or getting like a flu now or something else, that's bad. So that could be a huge niche for you, of, just having that as your original box set, and just targeting people that are looking for that. That's a good angle. And everybody seems to agree with the COVID recovery box set. So you're getting you're getting pushed into a market. But hey, you know what? I always say, don't build what you want to build what the customer wants. That's going to get you a lot further. So
yeah, listen to the market.
Yes, listen to the market. So it looks like you have some EIRs, including myself and probably the rest of the coaches here, that would buy your COVID recovery kit. And if you put in Carla's calendar, then she would actually use it. Make it fun, and she would actually use it, and we would use it too. So there you go.
Awesome.
And you can send all the coaches' shares to my direct inbox. I'll distribute them, fairly. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot. This has been really fun. Hopefully, the ERs, you enjoyed yourselves. I think everybody did an awesome job. I was really impressed today with the presentations. It's like everybody, you guys obviously went through another program before you showed up here, because clearly we didn't teach you any of this stuff. So I'm just teasing. But no, honestly, great job. Really, really impressed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome job. Wow. Well, that was fun. We did.
That was.
It was very cool. Yeah. I'm really impressed. Like, I'm honestly very, very impressed with everybody's presentation. There was nothing, that, like, there was no big gaps or anything, like, where I'm like, wait, what are you doing? What's going on there? Right?
No, I'm loving like how they have progressed since we started. I'm loving seeing the progress. It's excellent.
Yeah, really impressive. So yeah, good job. Yeah, the Friday EIRs have a bit of a they got an encore the challenge here. Like, are they going to be able to keep up
Pressure
with
is
their
on.
runs here on Tuesday? Yeah, the Tuesday group. That's your benchmark now. It's like, can you beat Tuesday, or can you meet Tuesday?
That's hilarious.
Awesome. Well, nice to see you all, as always. Looking forward to seeing you on Friday again, and
absolutely.
And we'll see you then.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Thank
Have
you,
a good week, everyone.
Have a good one. Take care.
Have a good week ahead. Okay, we'll see you soon. Thanks, EIRs. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.